Welcome, Crucible Cadavers, to another KeyForge video. I want to kick this thing off by saying thank you so much for all the love and support. There's been a couple of milestones since my last video. We're now over 100 subscribers. Thank you. I don't have a special plan for the 100 subscriber mark. There was some stuff that I'm working on, but it just wouldn't be on in time, and I didn't feel comfortable calling it that marker. So if we ever hit 500 subscribers, there will be a pretty big thing going. I hope to have ready by then. If not, then hopefully before then, and I'll come up with something else. Now, also, the last video, I think at the time of me recording this, is at about 1.4K views. So that's amazing. Holy cow. I didn't think, especially on a KeyForge video, that I would ever get that many views. So I really appreciate it. I'm going to set it as the featured video. So if you're a subscriber and you haven't seen it, it should pop up extra special for you to watch. I'm really proud of it, and I'm glad that everybody's loving it and interacting with it. But today we are going to look into the first of a couple KeyForge adventures. This is the most recent one to come out. I'm hoping to do videos on the other two, but not in any particular time or order. This one isn't retailing yet. It came with the game found if you were one of the higher 2 tiers, and it is the Fall of House Gormengeist. It's a 3-player scenario. Take a look at the box here. The art wraps around, it shows the manor, and this is the adventure that kind of shows off the Gestoids. We'll see some art for them and some unique effects that'll apply just to this adventure. It'll be interesting to see what kind of carries over into the next set, into Grim Reminders. So Fall of the House Gormengeist, it's a KeyForge adventure. KeyForge Adventures are a unique cooperative game mode where 1 to 3 players work together to overcome a new threat in the Crucible. Each player uses a standard KeyForge deck from their collection to play. Fall of the House Gormengeist is a new scenario where the players must explore the mysterious Gormengeist mansion and put an end to a being known as the Amalgamator. So then it's got a couple bullets that show as amber shards, or show as amber. Explore the mansion for critical items, survive endless waves of enemies, beware the Grim Reaper, stop the Amalgamator before it's too late. And then we have the contents there at the bottom. 24 mansion cards, 35 adventure cards, 9 Archon's Essence cards, 1 Amalgamator card, and 1 Gormengeist mansion card. Let's crack into it. I actually had the lucky chance to play with one of these already, so I kind of know what the game mode looks like. There's a cardboard kind of interlaying in there, keeping everything safe. That's good. But it's very fun. It's very difficult. I think that there's a specific type of deck that you're really going to need to kind of pull off some crazy stuff with this. I'll make sure the QR code here. Oh, it looks like it's just for the rules. So if you're interested in the rules, I'll probably try and put a link in the description, but there's a QR code for you. Kind of shows off, I guess these are the big cards. So this is the Gormengeist card and the Amalgamator card most likely. And it goes over which 3 players work together. Fall of House Gormengeist. Conclusions. Oh, you're supposed to read these. Okay. Well, don't look at that too hard if you don't want any spoilers. And I will talk a little in depth about everything that's in here and look through some stuff. So as I get deeper into this video, if you don't want the adventure spoiled for you, if you want to play through it for the first time, see some of the cards for the first time, now is a great time to click away. I don't think we've seen anything too crazy yet. But before I pan away and we get these cracked open, look at the back of this card. The Gormengeist from a different shot, kind of from a fence in the back. And I guess this pack has our Archon's Essence, and then looks like mansion cards. Rooms you have to explore. Looks interesting. Okay. Well, give me just a moment. I will move all this stuff away, and we will flip through some of these cards. so we can't pick out and what I can't talk about with how the game is played. Alrighty, I'm back now with everything splayed out before me. We're going to dig into it. This is the card from earlier with the rules on it and all the contents. On the back of it, it displays the other two adventures, just in case anybody wanted to see. The Abyssal Conspiracy and Rise of the Kirakin. Which, like I said, I want to dive into these at some point. So expect that in the future. I hesitate to say near future. I don't know when they will take priority over getting back to our normal flow of Winds of Exchange decks, but I want to make a video on these, so you'll get one. Set that aside. So right here we have the Gormengeist Mansion card. This one kind of sits at the top. It helps to kind of set up the Gormengeist side of the board. All it says on it, it shows the Gormengeist art, and then it says, at the end of your turn, Gormengeist steals 1 amber for each siphon in play. So siphon is that bonus there. And I believe this has one, and then the Grim Reaper itself might have one, I don't remember. There are a couple other cards that do. So at the end of, of your turn when you're playing, if you're the active player, it'll always steal 1 because the mansion exists, but then it can steal more. So this is one of the many reasons that the game is kind of on a running clock. And then the back of it is the introduction to the adventure. A mysterious entity known only as the Amalgamator has been luring Archons into a trap so it may claim their supernatural essence. You and your companions have entered the Amalgamator's lair, the harrowing Gormengeist Mansion. Intent on discovering the fate of our fellow Archons, you must explore the mansion and discover a way to end the Amalgamator's insidious actions. But beware, an entire army of malicious machines stands in your way. Very cool. And there are quotes from well-known creatures. There's a quote from Professor Torado right there for Mass Mutations. Quote from Dodger, who's in the Shadows. I'm not sure exactly which set. And then this right here appears to be the villain of our adventure, the Amalgamator itself. It looks like, I forget what the name of these are, but a kind of old vinyl record player. It is an item specter. If the Grand Stairway or Sealed Odium are in play, Dark Essence cannot be drained. Each time a player is drained of Essence, attach that Essence to the Amalgamator. When the Amalgamator has a number of Dark Essence attached to it equal to the number of players plus 1, it is destroyed and the players win the game. Whether you win or lose at the end of the game, flip this card and read the appropriate conclusion. That I won't flip, since it's just the conclusion on the back of here. I'll leave that up to you guys to grab and enjoy, win or lose. The story of this and its lead up into Grim Reminders, the next coming set, seems really, really cool. So the way that this all works is essentially, and we'll go through the rest of the cards so you'll be able to get a little more clarity from there. When the game starts, each player gets 3 Archon's essences, because we are the Archons. We're bringing our Archon's decks, we are the Archons of our armies, of our groups on the Crucible. And we have 3 of these. And so once the Amalgamator, or the Mansion I guess, gets 6 amber, or more, whenever it would forge a key, it forges a key at the appropriate cost, and then it takes an essence from whoever the active player was. So it takes the Gormengeist Mansion takes a turn right after each player. So you'll have a turn, then it'll go. Then your friend will have a turn, then it'll go. Then if you're playing with 3 people, the other Archon will have a turn, and then Gormengeist Mansion goes. So each of these times, if you can forge a key, it pulls an essence, and once the mansion tries to pull essence from you and you have none, so not that you're taking your last one, but it's trying to take it and there's none left, all the players lose, and it ends the game. So it's pretty intense. It's a very big race against the clock. And the way you beat it is you go through the mansion cards and you do whatever the explore effects say. So some of the explore effects say like pay 3 amber or like lose 3 amber, it goes to the common supply or whatever. Flip this card. And when you flip it, it'll either give give the opponent a new creature, or it'll give them an upgrade, or it'll play an action for them. It can do something really good for the opponent, but it can also do something really good for you. So sometimes it'll give the active player a really good upgrade or benefit or artifact or something. But what you're really looking for is there are about 6 cards that have Dark Essence on the back of them. So when you discover a Dark Essence, it goes into your pool, and the next time Essence would be drained from you, you can choose to either give it one of your essences or a Dark Essence, but I would suggest Dark Essence, because once you're out of your Archon's essences, even if you have Dark Essence left and it tries to pull it, the game is over, because you can't count Dark Essence as your Archon's essence. And once it has a number of Dark Essence equal to however many players plus 1, so if you're playing with 3 players, it would be 3 plus 1, so 4, it is destroyed, and that concludes the game. You were able to beat it in the mansion. So it's super fun. It's, in my experience, really difficult. It spits out creatures pretty fast. They've got good actions. It's got good effects. If you are looking for a challenge for a co-op adventure like this, I think this is great, absolutely great. I haven't had the pleasure of playing the other adventures yet, but I've heard that they are good but hard, but I've also heard that this one is a bit harder from everybody who's played multiple adventures, including this one. But it's super cool, and the theming is fantastic. Okay, let's dive into these next ones. So these are the mansion cards. I won't read all of the explore effects unless something like really catches my eye. But we will go through this facing this way, and then I'll flip them over and we'll look at the backside as well. The unsolvable puzzle, which you would explore and get a Dark Essence for. There's another unsolvable puzzle, which creates an Echo Fly. Another unsolvable puzzle. Okay, so a lot of the same rooms with different rewards, which is really interesting. Near Future Lens. Look at the back of a mansion card in play, or the back of a top card of the mansion deck. Interesting, okay. So this is one of those benefits. You could like look ahead and see if there's an enemy or a reward underneath one of these cards. So if you saw Dark Essence, you would want to go for it as soon as possible, but if you saw Echo Fly, you would want to leave that one there and then kind of remember. So that's really, really cool. It's also a great use because this is a anomaly in our coming set. So it's interesting to see it in a different way. Derelict Machine, which is a Dark Essence. Another Derelict Machine with an Echo Fly. And another Derelict Machine with In Here Somewhere. Then we've got the Glowing Portal, which has a Dark Essence. Another Glowing Portal with Dada and Echo Fly with Nightmare Inducer. It's an artifact. Ooh, it draws additional cards. That's scary. Soul Vial, another artifact. Then we've got the Towering Bookcase here with a Dark Essence. So I'm wondering if each one has a different Dark Essence and a different reward or punishment. Echo Fly. Forbidden Tome. Under your control, Omni shuffle a creature into its owner's deck. If you are haunted, repeat the preceding effect. Great way to set back the mansion. Pile of Junk. Dark Essence, another one. Flying Broomstick. Ooh, okay, that's a bad one. And then In Here Somewhere. So they're not all rewards. They don't all have a Dark Essence, a punishment, and a reward. Seems like sometimes it's more punishment than reward. Locked Door. It's got a Dark Essence. Ecto Charge, which is another anomaly that'll be coming in Grim Reminders most likely. And the Study. See, that's one of those siphon icons or pips. That would mean that while this is in play, you get stolen from. Oh, each creature you control gains after you've stolen, you may destroy the Study. Interesting. each creature you control. So I'm wondering if that is our creatures or the opponents. So they would steal one at the end of the turn, but every time we reap, we can steal one, and we can choose to destroy the study to stop that siphon, but it would stop our stealing. I think that makes the most sense. Then we've got Grandfather Clock here with a siphon on it. Oh, all these clocks. So there's a unique thing that puts all of these clock, like, mansion rooms in play. And I think each one, they all have passive effects that help the Grim Reaper, but they also all become special, really horrible creatures to have to fight. And then the Sealed Odom. The Grand Stairway, which becomes Be Our Guest, and then Endless Corridors, which becomes Strange Passages. I think this is just the way that you continuously explore to get more rooms in your kind of like mansion line. I don't think that there's necessarily a like specific way to set it up. The way that my friends and I set it up is we had these two, then we had the adventure deck, so this deck here, which we're about to go through. Then we had our row of our opponent of Gormengeist's enemies, and then the row of artifacts on the bottom, and then there was an adventure discard as well. And the Grim Reaper was almost always somewhere in there because the Grim Reaper is unique and hard to get rid of. And then we had the mansion stack, the one that we just went through, in a kind of separate pile a little bit closer to everybody so we could all flip it on our respective turns. So this is the adventure cards. This is basically Gormengeist's deck. Oh, this card's a little scuffed up. Oh well. Something about the back card got messed up a little. But they all have the same back, and then I believe there are two cards that you would pull out of here, which would be the Grim Reaper. Oh, maybe it's just the Grim Reaper. I think the Grim Reaper gets pulled out. But yeah, it's different upgrades, different things that it can play. So we have the Singing Scythe. Make sure you guys can see this. Yep, Singing Scythe, Power Supply, Ethereal Armory. Is It Time? Something for Later, Energy Vampirism, Spontaneous Awakening, Return to Rubble. Ooh, Never Really Gone. There's a bunch of unfathomable looking creatures. Very fish-like. Interesting. A lot of these have flavor text on them. Junk Restoration. Call of Need. Webster. Get to see some creatures in here. Varad the Indulgent, Touchstone, Tribute Collector, Thought Catcher, Shadies. That's right, Shadies. Two of those. This guy we've seen art of pretty often, it feels like. He's been shown off for Grim Reminders a lot. Mehmet? Is that right? Mehmet? Seems right. Infiltrator. This one's a very interesting card because it's kind of our first showcase of them using the new words that they had mentioned, Treachery and Versatile. Treachery meaning it enters play under your opponent's control, and then Versatile meaning it can be used no matter, as if it was the active house. Because before in cards that had that, it was all spelled out and there was like a whole sentence about it, but because it's something that, you know, they theorize will get played with more, it is just that keyword now. Dark Lamp. That art looks really cool too. I'm really loving this. This is also just such a great way to showcase all of the Gestoid stuff coming up. Harvest Skimmer. I'm really loving this art, and I know I've said it a time or two. Oh, and then our Grim Reaper. But I am just really pumped for this set, and I think that Gestoid is almost certainly going to be my new favorite house. Just because of its theming and everything. But that was the adventure. I hope you guys liked getting a good look at it. I love being able to bring you videos like this where people can kind of see what's going on with some stuff that it isn't necessarily accessible right now. So I hope you can get in on it. Like I said, I want to do more adventure videos in the future. And if you're interested, the rules have a prologue section and then an epilogue section for the end of it. And I was thinking I might do like a narration video for those, because I know something that I always loved about board games is when they had like a QR code or a YouTube video that you could click on that would like read off a section of it to make it a bit more thematic. So if that's something that you guys want, I would love to do it, and I might do it anyways, but I would love to hear from you if that's something that you would be interested in, just so you could play a kind of narrative experience for the prologue and for the epilogue. It seems like it ties very heavily into the coming of the Gestoid house in the next set, and I think it sounds really cool, and I would love to get that out there in a more digestible way for everybody. But thanks so much for watching. Thanks again for all of the support. I've really been excited and reinvigorated to make more videos with how well my Vault Tour recap video is doing. So again, thank you all so much. I hope you stick around. And if you haven't yet, you made it this far in the video, subscribe. You clearly like KeyForge, and you'll see a lot of that here. Thank you all again. And remember, the most important part of KeyForge is the person sitting across the table. Have a great rest of your day.